Let me introduce now, definitely not last but not least, our beautiful Dr. Mavis, who is a compassionate clinical psychologist with an abundance of experience. Through her work, she offers a powerful mindset blueprint for women seeking to rise stronger in their midlife. So her talk is all about the midlife mindset blueprint, a proven three-step framework for mastering your results and unlocking your next chapter. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that introduction again. And my name is Dr. Mavis, and welcome to Midlife Mindset, a proven three-step framework to mastering your results and unlocking your next chapter. So imagine, right? Imagine this next chapter of your life, right? It's not the next. I know oftentimes that we refer to midlife or when we get to the mid 50s or 60s as in the next chapter of our lives, right? Or I think midlife crisis was invented by I can't remember his name, but back in 1900s. But my goal is to really look at midlife not as a crisis, but really as our turn, right? To reimagine, to reassess, and to reevaluate, right? So the next chapter of your life really is not the next, right? It should be the best, right? The most fulfilling, the most extraordinary, the most badass chapter yet. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make that happen during this talk. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like midlife is a turning point, right? A crossroads where you're pulled, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely, towards something more, right? And let me ask you guys this, Ro. I'm not quite sure if you can see me on screen because I can't see. I think I might have lost myself. Can you folks, Shell, am I on the
I
screen
can
or?
see you. I don't know about everybody else, but I can see you.
Okay, all right. I don't need to be on there, but I can't. All of a sudden, I lost myself on there. In any case, today I'm going to show you why this moment, the exact era of your life, is a perfect time to unlock and create the life that you absolutely and truly love. So, by the end of this presentation, you're going to walk away with clarity, with confidence, and my proven three-step framework to unlocking your next chapter so that you can finally take the reins of your journey and start creating the life that you truly love. Now, before we begin, in case we haven't met, I know that Shell did an amazing introduction. Thank you so much for that. But a little bit about myself and why you should listen to me anyway for the next 15 or so minutes. I'm a clinical psychologist with a little over 2 decades in private practice and have been in the mental health field since 1999. But about 3 decades later, I pivoted to where I am now, where I'm a certified transformational life coach and an international author, as well as one of the 100 Women in Power speakers. And I have been blessed to share messages of hope and resilience with audiences worldwide. But my most cherished roles, best of all, is that I'm a proud mom of these three amazing young men who test my nerves daily, make me want to pull my hair out at times, and yet somehow they turn my tiny little world into something enormous and extraordinary, right? And I'm sure there's lots of moms out here who can probably relate to that as well. And my mission, it's very, very simple, and that is to do the work that pleases God and serves his people. So my promise to you today is that I'm going to give you everything that I can in the time that we have together. And at the end of my presentation, some of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your own life. So for you, I have a special gift that would I've loved to share with you at the end of our time together. So let's start. Now, I want to start with a cute story. I know we've got some time, we're in a time crunch here, but I want to share this story because it's important. There's three salesmen, right? A Hindu, a Jew, and a chronic complainer came together in the heart of a farm country to learn how to sell a new piece of equipment. Now, the complainer, no matter what happened, always found a way to complain, always found something wrong. And by the end of the week, the other two they couldn't wait to part ways with him. So on the way to the airport, after their final sales call, right, their car broke down about 25 miles out from the airport. The complainer starts in whining, moaning, and declaring that their situation was hopeless. The other two, they spotted a farmhouse, like right in the distance, and convinced the complainer to walk with them for help. So off they went. The complainer, still complaining, they knock on a door, and the farmer came to the door and explained that their mechanic had already gone for the day, but he offered them a place to stay, two beds in the house, and a bunk bed in the barn. Now, of course, they had no choice but to accept, given the circumstances. But after dinner, the Hindu volunteered to sleep in the barn. And about 30 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. It was a Hindu, and he marched in the house and he said, "I'm sorry, but in my tradition, cows are sacred, and there's a cow in the barn. I can't stay there." So the Jew volunteered to sleep in the barn. But 30 minutes later, another knock came to the door. And the Jew bursted into the house and apologized. And he said, "There's a pig in the barn. And in my tradition, pigs are unclean. I can't stay there." Finally, the complainant just couldn't stand it anymore, stormed out, and he said, "Forget it. I will just go to the bar myself." So he did. But half an hour later, a knock came to the door. This time, it was the cow and the pig. So this story isn't just about the three salesmen. It's about how our mindset shapes your life, right? The chronic complainer wasn't stuck because of the cow or the pig or the broken car. He was stuck because of his mindset, right? His mindset kept him there. And in midlife, it's easy to feel stuck, believing that this is just how life is now. But it's not, right? It's not true. Midlife is not the end. It's actually your beginning. So my intention this morning is to share with you powerful tools that's going to help you improve your results in your life right away. I want to make sure that by the end of our talk, you will be empowered with 3 tools to help you achieve those goals. You'll have greater clarity on the goal or the dream that you have for your life and feel even more confident in your ability to achieve those goals and your ability. Because I firmly believe that this is our time, your time, my friends. So let me ask you this question. How many of you have ever achieved a goal or a dream in your life, right? Where when you first set that goal, you didn't know how you were going to do it, and yet you did, right? Now, I know that some of you, if not most of you, are probably raising your hand right now, even though I can't see you, but it proves a point, right? It proves a point that you are much more capable than you know, right? You weren't sure how you were going to do something, and yet you did. And maybe you kind of felt like this little guy right here, right? Now, what's interesting though about achieving goals and your dreams is where they come from. Our dreams and our goals are often born out of the challenges that we face, right? And what I've learned during my speaking engagements at groups and events is that just like this resilience of that blade of grass, right, that will press through cement to seek the light, the same resilience is often true for all of us, our dreams and our goals. They are often born out of the challenges that we face or the pain that we experience. So how many of you out there are facing some kind of challenge right now? And maybe perhaps in your career, right? Or in your relationship, or maybe your finances, or maybe the amount of free time that you feel you have or you don't have. Now, how many of you would really, really love to have that problem resolved, right? You see, we live in a universe that speaks to us through 2 growth signals, right? Our longing and our discontents. We experience the feeling of longing when we're desiring what we haven't yet created. And we feel the feeling of discontent, the dissatisfaction with the what that's going on with your current circumstances or conditions. Now, both of these here, longing and discontent, are catalysts for growth within all of us, right? It challenges us. And in doing so, it causes us to expand, to grow, right? Just like that blade of grass, just pressing through cement to see the sunlight, right? Now, Dr. Beckwith, I'm sure many of you are familiar with his work, right? In a quote that I love what he says to change our life, right? We are often pushed by the pain until we are pulled by a vision. So whether it's the pain of a problem or a burning desire or something new, these 2 energies, the pain and our burning desire, are essential for creating new results in our lives, right? So let me share a time in my life when longing and discontent challenged me to grow and find strength that I didn't even know at the time when it happened that I had. Now, for years, my husband and I dreamed of becoming parents. But after 5 years and 4 miscarriages, the heartbreak was just overwhelming. And each loss was devastating, each one more so than the next, and it continued. But I really thinking back, I didn't allow myself to grieve at the time. I told myself that I had to stay focused. I had to focus on my dream, on my career, my next step, right? And on the hope that one day that it would happen, that I would become a mom, right? But while I was holding all of this in, the people around me, for example, my husband, right, and my parents, they were grieving. And though I didn't realize it at the time, though, right, I was starting to crumble under the weight of it all. One day, I came home from work and I opened the door, and the first thing I saw were these two suitcases against the wall. And in that moment, my heart just sank. It dropped. My mind immediately went to the worst. He's leaving me, right? He wants to be a dad, a father so bad, and I'm failing him as a wife. That's where my mind went. And through the tears, the only words that I could muster at that time was, "Are you leaving me?" But what I discovered instead was that those two suitcases, they weren't actually an ending. They were actually our beginning of something that I didn't even know, right? That I didn't know that was happening, right? My amazing husband, he died this year, makes 8 years. My husband, in his love and wisdom, had planned an amazing surprise trip for us. It's a weekend away. And really, for him, it was a chance to step away from all of that, right? To breathe and to grieve, to remember who we were beyond the pain that we were experiencing and have been experiencing. And for us, that really was a turning point, that trip, that is. It was the first time during our journey to becoming parents that I allowed myself to, God, to exhale, right? To stop pushing and striving and instead just be. And a month later, we were pregnant, right? But here's the thing, though. The journey to that moment, right, wasn't just about becoming a mother, right? It was actually more about learning to trust the process, to trust God, and to lean into the discomfort of our longings and our discontents, and to realize that even in the darkest moments, growth was still happening. By the way, that's our son now. That was the one that we got pregnant with when we came back from San Francisco. So today I am going to share with you powerful principles that will totally skyrocket your success and help you transform your longing and discontent into phenomenal results. These very same principles are the ones that help one of my clients here, Emily, take her casual weekend yoga meetups in her basement. That's what she was doing, to becoming a certified health coach. Now, Emily after learning these concepts, that is, took inspired action and expanded her yoga meetups, where she got certified as a health coach and opened up her own studio. So she basically branched outside of her basement where she was holding all of these here. Her classes, that is. Now, Emily's story is the perfect example of what happens when we tap into our potential, right? Despite the paradigms, despite the limiting beliefs, and aligned her mindset with her vision. And so today, I'm going to share with you 3 of those very same principles, because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, it's never too late to step into your next era. Now, there are 4 domains which we are always creating results in our lives, right? And they are health and well-being, love and relationships, our location, our career or income level, or our vakari, which is a calling, that is, and time and money freedom, which is your ability to take vacations and go on cruises, do what you want to do, right? The freedom. You are having results in each of these 4 domains right now. And I'm sure some results you love and others not so much, right? But here's the good news, guys. No matter what the results are right now, or how big of a challenge it might feel, right? Or how long an old result has been in place, you always have the power to create something new. I mean, think about it. We have 365 days to create a life. So we don't get a choice whether our minds are creative or not, because we are always creating. So why not choose, right, to invest those minutes or those times, those days into something that actually matters, like your dream, because you absolutely have the power to create the exact results that you would love to have in your life. Now, how do I know this? Well, it's not, I look at it, it's not just wishful thinking. A lot of folks, when they hear this kind of you think woo-woo, right? It's not. It's actually rooted in how our brain works, right? You have this incredible built-in tool that is called the reticular activating system, or the RAS, right? The RAS acts like a filter, right? It brings what you focus on into awareness and it tunes out the rest, right? For example, have you ever decided to buy a red SUV, right? And suddenly all you see after you buy that SUV are red SUV everywhere, right? Now, those SUVs were always there, but now your brain is paying attention. The same happens with your goals. You focus on problems and your brain will find them. You focus on success, solutions, and opportunities, and your brain will start seeing those instead. Remember, where your attention goes, right, your energy flows. And in midlife, this is everything. After years of putting yourself last, your RAS will help you spot the ideas, the resources, and opportunities to make your dreams real, to redirect focus onto you or back to you, right? And it's not magic, I tell people. It's actually how your brain works. Now, I'm going to show you the first step to mastering your results. Before we go there, right, let's take a look at a couple of ideas that will help you expand your awareness of success in the areas of life that matter most to you. Now, there are four keys, and I've shared this earlier. There are four keys where we experience these results, right? And that is, again, it's in health and well-being, your love and relationships, your vocation or your career, that is, and your time and money freedom. Now, the results that you're seeing in each of these areas are a direct reflection of your current awareness, right? Now, for those of us who are in or entering midlife, this can feel like a wake-up call, right? You might look at one or more of these areas of your life and think, I'm not where I want to be, right? It gives you an opportunity to reevaluate, to reassess, or maybe you're afraid that you'd have to start all over again if you take those chances. Or maybe you're wondering if it's too late for you to make a change. The truth? Not at all. It's never too late, right? Research shows that midlife is absolutely a time of bold invention, redirection, and reassessment. And why? Well, we've lived, right? You have wisdom, a wealth of life experiences, as I've seen with some of the ladies that's on here right now, right? And you have focus to make all of that happen. So let's take a look at this. Now, this is
Dr.
called,
Mavis, I don't want to disrupt your flow. Just so you know, you've got like 5 minutes, but I don't
oh
want to disrupt your flow. I know, I know,
my goodness, oh
I
my goodness,
know.
I am so
Sorry.
far away. Well, let me just finish this part right here then. The results,
Sorry.
you can cue me out, Shell. You can cue me out when I'm done, but let me just go through the results
Oh,
for
I will.
probably a good as well. So this is called the results formula, right? So this is the pattern that creates results. All of our results, they start right here, right? In our thoughts, in the form of our thoughts, right? We are thinking all the time. The average person has between 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Your thoughts, they drive your feelings. They cause your feelings, that is, right? In other words, when we feel confident and energized, we take bold and positive actions. But when we feel down or frustrated, our actions reflect that too, often keeping us stuck, right? Exactly where we are. And for many of us in midlife, this is a powerful realization. After years of focusing on responsibilities and our routines, we often develop these thoughts that don't serve us, like it's too late for me, or I'm not enough, or I don't have what it takes. These paradigms can generate feelings of fear, doubt, insecurities, and even resignation. But here's the good news though. When you shift your thoughts, you shift your feelings and open the door to new opportunities, right? This is the power of where the result formula begins. So, by universal law, how we feel drives what we do. So if you think about Oprah, right, early in her career, she felt stuck as a news anchor, knowing that it wasn't her true calling. Now, she could have settled, right? But instead, she followed what lit her up, right? What made her shine. This basically decision changed her life. That risk changed her life and the lives of millions, I'm sure. We know that our actions lead to our results. It's simply the law of cause and effect. So follow me here. And thoughts, which is where everything starts, that is, thoughts leads to our feelings. Our feelings causes our actions or inactions, that is, and our actions lead to our results. Now, interesting though, most of the world, when they look at their results, right, they look at their conditions, their lives, their situations, or their circumstances, right? They look at their career, their spouse, their home dynamic, or their bank account, and they call that their causes, right? For example, it's too late for me to go after my dreams because I'm too old or too young, or I can't get into that relationship right now because I need to lose weight or feel my best first, right? Or I can't take that vacation or time off because I don't have the money or my boss won't let me, right? Because, and all of that. Now, the true cause of our results is not our circumstances or conditions, right? Your results are caused by basically our thoughts, our thinking. You have been thinking all these time in terms of our thoughts. You can choose your thoughts or you can let the old habits of thinking, that is, run your life. So if you want to know where your results have been thinking or where your results have been, you basically look at where your thoughts are, right? Because your results right here, as far as you're concerned, they never lie. And Shell, how many more minutes I have left? So I can skip through.
You can have another 5 minutes.
Oh no, I don't want to take away from someone else who's going to be taking
No, so you're actually
I
the last one. You are the last one. I think it's just, I know a lot of the ladies, some of them, like, I think it's been like nearly 7 or something hours. So
oh
there was
my
a lot
God.
of speakers. So we want to honor your time and honor your incredible knowledge. I want to listen to all of it, but I also can feel that there's, yeah. But
Yes,
as
yes.
much as possible, I have 5 more minutes.
All right. Well, I don't know how to end this because my project, I've got a few more minutes. I thought I timed this so well, but in essence, really what I'm talking about here is whatever our thoughts are, right? Our thoughts, like it says here, our thoughts lead to our feelings lead to actions, and the actions lead to results. And what a lot of us don't realize is that, right? Everything we talk about, I'm sure we've heard it before, everything sort of happens in our subconscious. That's 95% of who we are, right? That's the part that's below the, what do you call it? The iceberg. And so a really big part of when you enter into midlife is really understanding that we don't have to surrender into what mainstream media, right? Or what the gurus sometimes say. I always say you are the expert of your own thing. So we can have research, we can have our degrees, we can have books and theories and theoretical orientation, we can have all of that. But I'm of the belief that we came into here with this, which is all what God has dressed us with, and we'll go back to him, right? With just this. So when we are able to actually enter this era of our life, and I call it your badass era of becoming, right? With the mindset that this is our beginning or just the beginning, I think I think we'll be just fine. I think we'll be just fine because we underestimate the abilities or our own abilities as women to basically kick ass at this next stage or the next era or next chapter of our lives. Thank you so very much. I wish I could go more and more and more, but we are going to end gracefully here. Um,
Wow.
and I want to thank
Wow.
you to with it.
And just to follow up from that, also remember when opportunity presents itself, I know we're
Yes.
here listening and it's very different when there's an audience, but you have the power, my darling, to just continue with your PowerPoint and put it online because I can tell there's so much more depth and wisdom and knowledge that definitely people need to hear. Thank you so much. What an incredible end to our and really impactful and transformational day. And I really appreciate you. And then thank you so much for honoring the time and everyone's energy. And yeah, it's been a really incredible event. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for being a great host. Thank you. I love the way you capture
Yeah.
everyone's talk. I appreciate that. Great job.
Thank you so much.